5 years ago, with the Fiesta Days Rodeo, we added a fifth night, which was an Extreme Bulls night. This was strategic, doing this because Nampa, Idaho had what they call a short go, which conflicted with our Saturday night performances. And so quite often what that means is we'd have a lot of cowboys go up there, so it affected our bareback and our saddle bronc riding. And oftentimes on a Saturday night we might have one rider or two riders. So we strategically placed Extreme Bulls on a Saturday night so we didn't have that conflict anymore. That worked really well. Actually, over the last 5 years has forced Nampa to actually move to a different weekend, a different date altogether. They're no longer conflicting with us. So that's basically just to set the stage to tell you the committee in our last meeting unanimously voted to remove the Extreme Bulls night and bring in a fifth night of a full rodeo. And let me give you a couple of bullet points, I guess, to help you understand why that is. We have found out over the years that the fans really do prefer the full rodeo. The full rodeo was a neat novelty at first.
The Extreme Bulls.
I can't hear what he's saying over there. But
The Extreme Bulls was a novelty.
Oh, sorry. The Extreme Bulls, yes. But one of the things I think that you need to understand, that we'd like you to understand, is the Extreme Bulls was a standalone event. It was not part of our rodeo in terms of the PRCA and how they view that. So it was completely separate in terms of payout. Our payout obviously is determines how much money we get from media rights as well. And it's based on our total event payout, and Extreme Bulls did not count towards that payout because it was a standalone event. So if we combine now and hold 5 nights instead of the Extreme Bulls in 2025, our payout will increase $120,000. What that means to us is it moves us into the top 10 highest paying rodeos in the PRCA, which is 600 and some odd rodeos. What that means to us is,
I think we need to let that soak in. Like, that's a
top
big,
10.
That's a
big deal for Little Spanish Fork.
Name another
right?
top 10 rodeo, Dale, or
Cheyenne.
Or two. Cheyenne, pretty big rodeo.
San Antonio, Dallas.
Yeah,
Pendleton.
So the big ones, right? So Little Spanish Fork is in there with all of those guys.
We're like the SEC of rodeos.
Yeah.
Okay, for you football fans, did you get that one? He's going, I don't want to talk to you.
I wouldn't either. He's a stranger.
Yes, I am. Anyway, so our media for the last 3 years, we've been paid $64,000 in media money based on our payout. What this moves us to is in 2025, it'll be $135,000 for one of the top 10 rodeos. The other factor is the PRCA is trying to go away from standalone events. And as I told you before, Extreme Bulls was a standalone event. So they implemented a rule in 2022 that you enter standalone events last. So what that means is all of our competitive rodeos here that are on July 24th, Salinas, Cheyenne, Salt Lake, Ogden, and us, they can enter all those rodeos, and then you can enter the standalone bull riding, which is what our event was on a Saturday night. If you've already drawn up anywhere else in the PRCA on that Saturday night, you can't enter the bull riding. So what that means is we planned for 45 bull riders on our Saturday night, and last year we had 31. So I don't know if any of this makes any sense. I'm just trying to give you some bullet points of reasons why the committee decided to do what we're doing. We pay for 45 bull riders even though we have 31. So it's not a good business decision anyway. So we're excited about it. We continue to have a record number of sellouts every year. Even though we add another night, we're risking oftentimes our sellout status, which has gone on for many, many years. But we've been selling out 5 nights now, and we'll sell out 5 nights of a regular rodeo as well. So before I go on, any comments, questions? That's just a quick, brief overview on a pretty big decision that the rodeo committee made just this last week. Big deal. You guys-
Big deal with big rodeos, and we've always been the biggest in the state, but now we're one of the largest across the country for that week. Tickets still going on sale in April to give everyone a chance to see. These kids will understand what I'm saying. This is the Taylor Swift of rodeos, okay? It sells out. That's how popular it is. It's hard to get tickets.
They understood that better,
They
Seth,
got
than
that.
SEC.
Yeah, I saw some nodding heads from the 40-year-old man back there, Taylor Swift.
We're pretty excited about this. It's a pretty big deal to be in the top 10 Little Spanish Fork, so it's a big rodeo.
Important point that Dale, we somewhat take for granted. Other rodeos don't do it like this, but the volunteerism that exists in our rodeo through the Diamond Fork Riding Club and the other volunteers that step up to make 5 days as a rodeo happen. That's why he sighs when you say, what about 6? Well, that means somebody has to take 6 days
volunteering
off their full-time job. And you don't kids get summer off school, but adults don't get summer off work. They're still having to go to work and figure that out. So between the Diamond Fork Riding Club and the volunteers that put this rodeo on, it's just tremendous. Most places contract out and say, this is how much you're paid to put on this rodeo, and then here's what you recoup. Well, to keep the cost low and an affordable, family-friendly environment, geez, you just get volunteers stepping up to take care of that for 6 days or 5 days, and prepping it is another 5 days, and everything else. But just tremendous that you get that much support, and speaks well to the Dale's department, the Diamond Fork Riding Club, and the whole city, that you get that many volunteers willing to come out for. Maybe they get a couple of tickets, but they put in 50
Yeah, for
hours
sure.
of good
Nobody
hard.
does volunteerism like Spanish Fork.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Good point.